The heads of South Korea and Japan will meet 1 week from now uninvolved of the UN General Gathering in New York, Seoul authorities said Thursday, in the nation's most memorable highest point in almost 3 years in the midst of strains over history. The different sides have settled on a gathering between South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol and Japanese head of the state Fumio Kishida and are examining the specific timing, Kim Tae-hyo, a delegate public safety chief for Yoon, told correspondents. Kim said the gathering is one of a series that Yoon is pushing to hold with world pioneers going to the UN General Gathering next Tuesday and Wednesday. He said South Korea and the U.S. have likewise settled on a gathering among Yoon and President Joe Biden. Ties between South Korea and Japan, both key U.S. partners, are at their absolute bottom in a very long time after South Korean courts decided in 2018 that 2 Japanese organizations, Nippon Steel and Mitsubishi Weighty Ventures, should repay previous Korean representatives for constrained work during Japan's 1910-45 Pilgrim Rule of the Korean landmass. The organizations and the Japanese government wouldn't conform to the decisions, contending that all pay issues were settled under a 1965 arrangement that standardized ties between the nations and incorporated an installment of $500 million from Japan to South Korea. The set of experiences debates have gushed out over to different regions, with the 2 nations downsizing each other's exchange status and Seoul taking steps to scrap an insight-sharing understanding. The fighting has convoluted a U.S. drove endeavor to cement its collusions with its provincial accomplices in the midst of developing Chinese impact and North Korean atomic dangers. Seoul and Tokyo have been hoping to patch their stressed ties since the May initiation of Yoon, a moderate who needs to further develop relations with Japan and reinforce three-dimensional Seoul-Tokyo-Washington security collaboration to more readily adapt to the rising North Korean dangers. It's muddled in the event that the Yoon-Kishida meeting will deliver any quick advancements, since it's improbable that a few previous Korean constrained workers and their care groups will acknowledge an arrangement to settle their fights in court except if the Japanese organizations agree to the court decisions. The last discussions between the heads of South Korea and Japan happened in December 2019, when at that point, South Korean President Moon Jae-in and Japanese state leader Shinzo Abe met in China.